Hey everybody, I've never done a video like this before, so I'm not quite sure how this is gonna come out. Usually I just make riding videos, um, but I recently bought a Yamaha XT225 and I drive a little Ford Focus hatchback, so I needed something to pull it with that was lightweight, and I used YouTube as a resource, and I found a lot of videos of how people had modified Harbor Freight trailers and so on. So I wanted to make one of what I did, because I took some of those ideas, but I also came up with some ideas of my own, so I hope they're helpful. So first, I'll run some pictures of what it is I started with so you can see where I began this journey and where it ended up. So have a look, and you can see that it was a box trailer that I bought from a guy. It's the same dimensions as the Harbor Freight trailers, 40 inches by 48 inches. And I basically had to strip it down. I kept the flat base bottom, but got rid of that box around the outside because I didn't need that and it wouldn't work for my purposes. So as far as the trailer goes, here's what it looks like. I'll just do a quick walk around, then I'll go back through and point out some of the things that I did so you can see. And I'll just start right up front. So this is just a Harbor Freight jack stand. Didn't fit in there exactly the way I had hoped that it would, so I had to put a little block of wood in there. The other thing is, I originally mounted this spare tire on the tongue and had to move it because with this motorcycle rail here, there wasn't room to put or to keep both of them on there. So I did that. This motorcycle rail, I had to cut out the middle of the wooden bottom. I stripped down the middle to put that in. And I wanted it to be removable, easily removable, because I store it in my shed. I can stand it up on end. So what I did is I used clevis pins. So it's a little bit loose, but when the bike is strapped down, it pulls that tight, so there's no problem. So there's a clevis pin there, and there's a clevis pin there. The ramp is just a 2x6 ramp. I used an old bed frame and made some side rails. A little tip that I learned on bed frames is you have to drill through them extremely slow, otherwise the metal hardens and the drill bit just spins and doesn't do anything. Put a little piece of grip tape on here. I only had this one little piece left. I ordered some more, so I'm going to throw that on and see if that helps with the bike slipping. Same thing on the ramp, clevis pins to make it easy to take the ramp off and put it back on. And one thing I did, since this is something that'll be removed every time I ride, is the cotter pins. I put a little split ring on each cotter pin to make it easier to pull that out when you reach underneath there. So what else here? Of course, I put my little anchor points on each corner. If you notice from the pictures, the trailer didn't have fenders. In Pennsylvania, it's a law, they have to have fenders. So I was able to get fenders and the brackets from E-Trailer, and those mounted right on. That worked out real well. LED light kit from Harbor Freight, which was pretty inexpensive. One thing about this little small trailer is even behind my little vehicle, it's really hard to see if there's nothing on it. So I took some of these driveway markers. There's one on each side. Put them like that. Put them on here with a thumb screw, and then I made this little stopper so they won't blow back. And then when they're not in use, I can just tuck them down and hook them right underneath there. Again, I can do that when the bike is on, but also when I stand it up on end to store it in the trailer. I also forgot to mention on the ramp, I bought one of these ramp kits. I think it was like 15 bucks or something. I had to cut it down on either side to fit in that channel. Had some conspicuity tape left over, so threw that on there. Also, what I noticed is when I try to flip it up on end to stand it up in the trailer, the license plate would hit because it's down below. So I didn't want to have to take this on and off all the time, so I just put it on the back with wing nuts so I can easily put them on and take them off. What else? Oh, I've seen some people make some boxes for their fuel cans out of, like, 2x6s or whatever. Well, I had some smaller pieces of wood laying around, so I just decided to go this route and put in a couple of eye bolts so I could strap that down. So, like I said, some of these ideas I got from others. Some of them I just kind of thought of as I went along, but it works really well. Bike loads on and off with ease, straps down easily. I got the 4 anchor points. Then also when I have the bike loaded, I run a strap around the front wheel to hold that in place as well. So, that's really about all there is to it. It's not overly complicated. It was kind of fun to put it together, come up with ideas, and figure out how to make things work. I'll throw a couple of pictures up with the bike loaded on it as well. One thing I want to point out is when I put those pictures up, when you look at those, you'll see the spare tire holder was mounted on the tongue of the trailer because I hadn't yet moved it. I didn't have the jack stand yet, so that came later. Anyway, if you have any questions about what I did, feel free to comment and I'll respond. And if you have any other ideas from what you see based on what I've done that you think would be helpful for me, let me know. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope there's some ideas that you're able to use for your trailer as well. Thanks much, and go Steelers.